I'm going to let her go with you, and I'm going to step out, and then I appreciate you doing this for me.
Right.
Owe you a lunch sometime.
No problem, sir.
Have at it, Clay.
Hi,
Hey, hello.
how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing well, thanks for asking. I really appreciate you doing this for me. I'm taking Spanish and I'm taking a college Spanish course, and part of um the one of our activities that we had to do for finals is interviewing a Hispanic person. So, shall we begin?
All right, thank you. Hey, one thing to let you know, I think Spanish is becoming very important, and if you learn better Spanish, I think opportunities are very open for you for any position. I have a nephew that is lives in Corpus Christi, and she's a nurse, and she speaks very well Spanish and English, and she's officially translator to the Hispanic people that cannot speak English, and that is paying a lot for her.
Yeah,
That's in top of his her job.
yeah. So what was it like growing up outside of the United States?
I would say it's difficult, especially if, like myself, I was born in a small town. So there were not many opportunities, and the growth and make a good life is not. It was not easy. So I have to, after I finish my university, I have to move where the big jobs are or were located here. So I moved to another city. So I would say, and especially in small towns or cities in Mexico is difficult. It's more farm or jobs that some different applications in my that I study. So yeah, it's totally different.
Yeah. What is your cultural perspective on family?
Family in Mexico is very important. I think it's a union. It is I would say all together package. Uh, that's what I learned from my parents. I'm part of 11 brothers, so imagine I had a huge family. So I'm the son number six. So yeah, family for us is very important. We kind of all together.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. So I have a lot of brothers, relatives, and yeah, a lot of family.
Yeah. So what are family and like holiday celebrations like with your family?
I would say is a party. I mean, like Christmas week is a party at home. We have, I would say, most of the half of my brother lives in the U.S. They move as we're speaking for better opportunity. So they are living in Florida, in Houston, in Corpus Christi, here in the Valley. So we move that week, Thanksgiving or Christmas. We try to be all together at least the weekend, and I mean that's amazing having all the people at uh, my parents' home. It is a huge family event. I would say it's a party, it's a fiesta.
Yeah, that's really fun. What is the perception of the United States and like Americans outside of the United States?
The perception of the United States when I was a teenager because I didn't have a visa until I grew up. Um, Actually, like never been in the U.S. when I was a kid, so that was we kind of see it or on the TV how was it. But I think the perception it is not only for Mexicans, it is for Latin Americans, and I would say a big group of us. It is um, a better opportunity. I would say it is a dream to have a better life. So that's how we see it. It is a country of opportunities.
Yeah. What is or how is work life different in the United States and Mexico? Like, how does that differ from one another?
And being in the both sides now, I've been working in the U.S. almost 10 years. So, but when I became, I would say 20 years ago, when I became a engineer, I travel a lot and seen a lot of different factories, General Motors, Ford, Chrysler, in all different countries in U.S. and some others in Europe. Seeing the culture of work is different. Mexico works more hours. Things that's really one thing. Payment is low payment, but the culture of working is passion. It is people committed to work. They, I would say, we understand that is a payment. It is an agreement, but most of the things it is a job to be done, and most of the time enjoy the job. I can put an example. For example, my older sister, she worked 35 years in a bank. So that's a lot of years to be in the same job and being almost retired from that job. So, and also my sister-in-law, she is 20 years in a pharmacy in my small town. So that's I would say not very common, but when the I would say the culture of Mexicans are committed, they stay long for that. And for the other side, my brother, he's working in Florida. He is in the job. He is a manager in a factory over there, and he is in the job 22 years, I believe. So that's a lot of years. So we are Mexico. The Mexicans are. We are not easy to move.
Yeah, you're very committed. Like when you do something, you're committed to doing that.
Mhm.
Yeah. How does college life differ between the two cultures?
Yeah, that's I can only compare with my daughter because she's at now almost done with college and university, and compare with myself, how was it? I mean, it's totally different. In Mexico, we, as a, like I say, family is very important, so we prepare most of the time to stay at home, be part of what the family business is into, and work with that. And in the U.S., I've seen in the opposite. The families prepare the children to be out as soon as they go to the college or the university. So that's prepare them for be outside, and I would say live the life of the university or opportunities for a job out of the city or out of the country where they're born.
Yeah. Who are the most popular pop culture icons in Mexico and Latin America?
Yeah, there is a lot. I don't know if you heard some of them, but I would say in Latin America, Shakira,
Mhm.
the one, Julio Iglesias. I think Julio Iglesias is the king of the pop. Julio Iglesias Jr., the son. There's another one, Carlos Vives, um, and Becky G, Carol G. I don't know if you heard those ones.
Mhm.
So, and in Mexico, we have when the pop became popular, we have in my age groups that called Timbiriche
Mhm.
or RBD. They're called Rebels, like a Rebels, or another famous actress and singer is Thalia, which is she's living in the U.S. now in Miami.
That's really cool.
Yep.
Are there any like famous actors or actresses?
Yeah. Thalia is one of those, and I think she's been iconic into the Mexican music, pop music, and also acting in TV shows.
Yeah. So kind of transitioning more to the spoken language. Are there any like specific words that aren't acceptable outside of the US or that are acceptable outside of the US but you wouldn't say in the US?
Yeah, I saw the question, and I cannot think about that. I can think more in the Mexico with other America countries. A word that means some things in Mexico means totally different in other Latin America countries. For us, it's common, but not through the U.S. Not English and Spanish are I would say totally different languages, obviously, but I couldn't find. Now that I can think about it, I know if I say a word in Dominican Republic, for example, it will be a bad word.
Yeah.
And or in Colombia, and also we sometimes listen words that in Mexico are bad words, but over there in other countries are not. So I would say I couldn't find anything compared to US.
Are there any like typical expressions that do not translate into the US? So like if there's like slang in Spanish, like
Yeah.
something you would say like if something was happening, but we don't necessarily it doesn't translate into English. Like that's just something that's specific to Hispanic culture or since you're from Mexico, like is there something in Spanish that she would say in Mexico that maybe you wouldn't say in another Latin America country?
Yeah. Now there are a few. I would say there are top phrases or sentence that have no translation. Only the Mexican know what that means. Yeah, I have, for example, no me des el avión. That means is don't give me the airplane, but that really means is like don't 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 joke with me or don't make a false I would say promises. So or those it's like I was saying blah 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 blah, right? So that's what a phrase means. That phrase. I can send it that to Chris, so you can look at it and try to find out what that means. But yeah, I have like a high. I have highlighted like a five of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it for my list of questions, but is it okay if I go and if I ask you some that aren't on the paper?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Um, so what was it like for you? Like when did you have the opportunity to move to the US and what was that transition like for you moving to Mexico from the US? And I forgot to ask, but where in Mexico are you from?
I'm close to the border and a small town that is like I would say an hour and 30 minutes from Brownsville, Texas, from South Padre Island. So it is South Texas or the Valley, like an hour and a half. It's not too far away, and I would say that's not the real Mexico. The real Mexico is in like big cities like Mexico City or Puebla or other states that are near to the capital. So that's where I'm born. The border is that's what we say. Border is just a cities that are a lot of people that just going through and then move to the U.S.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm born. The city of name calls Valle Hermoso. That means a beautiful valley, and is they say it's a lie because it's not a valley and it's not beautiful. So it's just a small town. So
Yeah.
that's what that's what I'm saying. It's very small town.
And so then when did you move from when did you have the opportunity to go from Mexico to the US and what was that like?
Yeah, it was really opportunity that I decided to took over because of my children's right. A better opportunity for them to study. I learned English at older age, maybe 19 years old. That's when I start studying English class, and I get it. I would say faster because my job, and I start also doing some job uh, with all other engineers from up north in US. So I grew up with a lot of experience on that, working with them for new projects on the automotive industry, airbags, seat belts, steering wheels, designs. So I had a lot of experience on safety restraints for vehicles. And then the first opportunity to move came to me, like I would say 15 years ago, to move to China, to open a plant in Shanghai, China. And I went over there. I looked at the city. I lived there for close to a month. And to take a decision for me and my family, it was worth it to move 3 or 5 years over there. And it was tough because my kids were 1 year old, my son, and because of that, I decided not to move. So I kind of let the opportunity go. And then when I moved to Jones from the automotive industry, because I was trying to look at something different to the automotive, more to work on the healthcare. It was known that the healthcare is a different um, job for good, but in the automotive industry is stressful, demand, very competitive, and healthcare is a little bit different. And that's where this opportunity came up like 10 years ago. And I moved to Brownsville 9 years ago to US. And that was most likely for give the opportunity to my sons to have a truly class in English. So they were fluent in Spanish. So give a better opportunity for the university, for the English development, and a better life. I think that was good. Even though I live, I would say 10 minutes from the border in US. I mean, it's a different when you go and cross the bridge, any bridge in Mexico, you will see a huge difference between Mexico and US.
Yeah.
So I think a better opportunity for them.
So do you have a daughter too as well?
Yeah, I have my daughter. She's Grecia. She's 22 years old. She's finishing the university by December, and she will be graduated for business and teaching career. So that's what she's finishing this study. And my son Isaac, he is 17 years old, and he is on the last year of high school and ready for go university.
Yeah.
Two kids.
Yeah. So are they both fluent in both Spanish and English?
Yes. Both of them are 100% fluent in English and Spanish, and both of them can translate from English to Spanish and to Spanish to English. Actually, my son is official translator of the school, and he also translate teaching class in the school has a campus in República Dominica, or República Dominicana. It's a campus there, and they go twice a year, and he is a official translator for the teachers. So it's nice.
Yeah. I was like, it's something I wish I was better at. This is my third year of Spanish, and so I'm getting there, but apparently I learned to read and write it really well, but I struggle with hearing it and like hearing someone speak it and then take what they've said in Spanish and understand it in English.
Right.
And then translate it back to Spanish, like the back and forth, because I grew up only knowing English, and so I'm trying to train my brain to go back.
I understand you perfectly, because that's what I did for years. And it will take, I will say, if you don't practice the Spanish and you don't get someone that really put the efforts to teach you or speak with you or in the phone or in a meeting, it will take time. I will say two recommendations. It is listen to conversations in Spanish. Obviously, that's what the major recommendation. But the other recommendation is if you can move to a city, either in Mexico or Spain, or in another Latin American country for a year, you will get it right away. You will get your Spanish right away. That happens some some guys that came from Ohio when they were students. They came to work with us here as a students in Matamoros, and they got this. They in 3 years they were, I would say not 100%, but they were very fluent in English and Spanish. So my recommendation to you is, if you can go to a city that you can practice and be in maybe the university interchangeable for a year, that would be great. My daughter wanted to do that for friends or Spain, but she couldn't get it.
Yeah, I am looking
University.
doing college, a year of university abroad, and then coming back and finishing in this, or vice versa, going and then I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Haven't made that final decision, but yeah. How long did it take for you to like get English and like be able
I
to
would,
understand and then to speak it as well?
I would say, because I get it, like I told you, I think when I was like a 17, 18 years old, it took me 2 to 3 years easily. But I see it in my son. He was not speaking, I would say, zero English when he moved to, I think was grade number 3 when we moved over here, or 4th. He get it in less than a year. So he was fluent in less than a year. And he was frustrated first days of school, but after 6, 7 months, he got it from a teacher that he had. That it was 100% English, no Espanol at all on the class. So I would say he got it in a year, and now he is fluent and translating to other ones. So
Yeah.
that's good.
I love
So
that.
I would say 2 to 3 years for you.
Yeah.
Or it could be more.
Yeah.
But depends how you practice, because it happened to me the same. I understand, I can write it, but to sustain a conversation, that was the difficult part, right? So it happened to me in English, and I think for you it's going to be kind of the same. And then in my brain, I try to translate, and you have to stop doing that. But when you can stop doing that, I'm not sure. Suddenly happened to me. It just happened.
Yeah, it's different for different people.
Yeah, and now I can speak English and Spanish at the same time, and my brain, it wouldn't notice. So yeah, that's what happened. And I saw an example because my third language that I went to study was German language,
Okay.
because I work a lot with Volkswagen in Mexico. So that's what I tried also to have a third language, because I saw a guy that he was speaking Spanish, speaking English, and then speaking German language, and I was so impressed with him. So yeah, I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
But I never started. So
I mean, that's really cool though. Like, especially, I was like, to be fluent in 2 languages at least, like, it's just really cool.
yeah,
Multiple languages, regardless if it's 2, if it's more, it's just really cool to have both at your expense, because you never know when you're gonna have to use them.
yeah. No, that's, and it could be a good payoff for you in the future.
Yeah.
All right,
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
no problem. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.